What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Montana Method podcast once again. Your co-hosts, as always, Nelson Rodriguez Jr., author, writer of the Montana Method. Today, I have a very special guest in my first ever virtual version of the Montana Method podcast, as always, innovating. You know, that's my style. I have a person I love and adore, and I have become friends with over the past few months. We became good friends because we both had a similar experience during July 11th of last year, where everybody knows Cuba had a massive protest, a historic thing that happened for the first time in 63 years. And both of us had videos that went viral. And we connected through Instagram, and we've become friends, and we've done some content creating together. And I wanted to take this opportunity. As you all know, I have a rejuvenated, revamped version of the podcast, and I wanted to bring her to showcase her in the best way possible. Please welcome to the show, Grecia.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. Promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.
How you doing, Grecia?
You have to put clapping sound.
Clapping
I'm
sound.
doing great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. It's fantastic. I'm super honored to have you in my space.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always an honor to share space, even
course.
if it's virtually, with you.
Of course, of course. How was your day? Tell me. What'd you do
Oh
today?
gosh, busy. A lot of work. But busy is good. Busy is good. I have a lot of getting ready for my event this weekend, which is on wine. Is going to New York again. After a couple years of not having an event in New York, so it should be great. But it's a lot of
Fantastic.
work. So, working on getting all the stuff ready and yeah, and just, hustling.
Is that the Wine and Witches? No.
Which is a wine, yeah.
Witches and Wine. Witches and Wine. Awesome.
Which is a
Okay.
wine. We just had one in DC a couple of weeks ago, and now we hit in New York. And hopefully soon I can hit Miami with the event as well.
Make sure we
Working on
have to
that.
link up when you come down. You owe me that.
I know but every time I go to Miami, it's work. It's work. It's
Mm.
busy. It's go, 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 go. They jump on the plane, come back here. And I have to go and really relax. I don't think I ever relax when I go to Miami. It's always something.
I mean, you got to come down and enjoy our culture, man. You know what I mean? This is the closest you can get to Cuba without being in Cuba.
I
You know
know
what I
that's
mean?
I go and get recharged and then come back to the cold.
No, y tienes que echarte un pastelito y un cortadito, all the stuff you can't do in Rhode Island. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Bueno, lo hago yo mismo en mi casa.
No, that's you can't beat that. Home cooking, bro. That's the best.
I know. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on right now. Just, getting back on the road with my events and, mother as usual, being a mom and all of that stuff. Life.
Of course. No, it's, on top of everything you do, you're a full-time mother of two, which is, let me tell you, women, especially mothers, never cease to amaze me. I can tell you because I was raised by a single mother, and the things my
Mhm.
mother did to raise me and my sister, I'll never be able to repay her. I always tell my mother, I could buy you the world. I could become a trillionaire tomorrow and buy you the world and buy you the whole solar system, and I wouldn't be able to pay you back for what you did for me, for raising me and
Yeah.
putting me through school. And just it's a mother's sacrifice and a mother's burden is unlike any other, you know.
Yep. And we do it with a lot of love. Okay.
With a lot of love, with a lot of pride, you know, it's special, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
I I've never told my dad this, but it's not that I love my mom more than my dad, but it's different, you know. It's not the same.
Well, don't tell your dad.
No.
That's
Whatever. If he gets mad,
feelings
it
get
is.
hurt.
No, but it's not like that. It's no okay, oh, I love my mom more than you. It's just a mother's love is a mother's love, especially to a
Hmm.
son. When you have a son, so I think you know
Yes.
exactly what I'm talking about. Your daughter
Yeah.
is like your daughter. You love your daughter, but your son is, I don't even know how to explain it. A mother's relationship with her son is, my mother taught me how to be a man. I don't even know how that happened, but that's what happened with me. I was raised by a
Wow.
single woman, and she taught me how to be a man. She taught me to keep my word. She taught me to be an honest person. She taught me do what I say, don't lie to people. She taught me principles,
Yeah.
como ser hombre. And
Yeah.
it's 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 crazy that my mother was capable of doing that, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty
I
cool.
mean, we like you said, we women we do some incredible stuff. Sometimes we don't even
For
know
sure.
how. Don't even ask
For
us
sure.
how. We just get it done. We just get it
For
done.
sure.
Especially when you have
Have you
children, it's like something just switch
Oh,
and you
I've
just
heard.
learn. There is no manual on how to be a mom, but we do it.
Mm. Have you ever
We
heard the
do it.
saying, give something, if you need something done, give it to a busy person?
No.
Well, it's the truth. My mother, and like most mothers, they're busy. They're always doing a million things, and
Mm-hmm.
somehow everything always manages to get done.
Yes. And sometimes it's so draining as, talking about it from a mom perspective. It's it's draining. But
Mm,
I'm big on self-care and taking time away and saying no because a lot of the times we don't know how to say no.
mm,
And to any little request, we go, yes, yes, okay, I have it. Yeah, yeah, no problem. I'll help you. Yeah. And it's like, whoa,
mm,
wait, no. Self-preservation 101.
mm.
Learn to say no.
Yeah, 120%. My life changed when I learned the power of no. When
Mm,
you learn what to say no to, and because you want to be a good person and you want to help everyone, and at the same time you have priorities and you have goals and you have dreams that you want to achieve, right? So you have to balance things out. You can't do everything. You're one person.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had a mentor tell me, Nelson, your problem isn't that you're doing enough. The problem is you're saying yes to everything, and you can't say
Mm,
yes to everything.
yes,
Sometimes
that's
you have to say
powerful.
no.
That's
And
powerful.
he
Yeah.
and he said, when you learn how to say no, your life is gonna change forever. And it did. It did very
Wow.
much.
Wow.
Powerful
That's
stuff.
powerful. That's powerful.
Mm,
I,
definitely.
I believe a lot of people are afraid of the other person's reaction if they say no,
Oof.
or they are afraid of being seen as selfish. Oh, you selfish. You just think about yourself. But if
Mm,
you don't think about you, who's gonna think about you,
nobody.
right? If you don't put you first, I always tell my clients. I tell my people, an empty vessel cannot serve water. You cannot give what you don't have.
Mm,
So you have to fill yourself up. You have to fill your cup and you feed people from the overflow. But if you're not
mm,
full, what are you giving people?
mm,
So I'm big on that. I'm big on that's why sometimes I'm like, oh, no interviews, no videos, no nothing for 2 weeks, and then I'll get back to it. But sometimes I just need the rest, and I just
mm,
need, like a mental reset. Um I had to do it last year when my video went viral. Oof, it became overwhelming,
mm,
extremely overwhelming. I had all kinds of people hitting me up for good and bad because
mm.
with this, when you open the door, everything comes in, the good with the bad,
Pandora's
and
box.
it was a lot,
Mm,
and I had to step back. I had to step back and kind of like center ground and be like, okay, I can go ahead and get back to it now. And so now, slowly getting back to certain things. But it was, I don't know, did that happen to you when your video went viral? Did you feel
oh yeah.
overwhelmed?
Oh yeah. It felt crazy. For a moment, because I had been working social media and things like that, and I was like, man, when am I gonna get that viral video, man? I've been putting in work, and then it finally happened, and it happened on something that I didn't want to go viral. It was a video where I was just saying my truth. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Cuba was suffering and no one cared. Nadie le
Mm-hmm.
importaba, not United States, not the United Nations. And I knew why. But people were like, oh, how come this is happening? Or how come why that's happening? And I said, it's because these people are in on it.
Yeah.
It's because they want it to be this way. And I just said my piece. And I didn't expect for anybody to pay attention. I just needed to vent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know if you know this, but I was born in the United States. So I wasn't born in Cuba. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
very rooted in my roots. You know,
Yeah.
my first language is Spanish. I didn't speak English until like I was 5. You know, no one in my family speaks English. I've been to Cuba. I've been to my family's neighborhood. Everybody in my dad's neighborhood knows me. So it's like I'm rooted in my roots. I'm Cuban first. And when people ask me, why is Cuba so important to you? You're an American. I tell them because Cuba's my blood. And my blood isn't free. So until my
Yeah.
blood is not free, and until my blood does not have freedom, I don't have freedom.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I think of it as like a cycle of trauma, you know? It needs to
Mm-hmm.
end. You know?
Yeah.
I think of it as this way. I think of it as I think of myself as another Cuban. However, I'm a Cuban that experienced freedom, just like you guys, but I was born with it, you know what I mean? Like I was born in a country that has freedom. So
Yeah.
it hurts
Yeah.
me even more to see Cuba the way it is because I know what it's like to be born a free man,
Yes.
and people in Cuba don't.
Yeah.
That's what hurts, you know?
Yeah.
So
I had an experience with somebody today. She literally she just came to the country, and it was just so humbling for me because she had her first margarita today with me. She
wow.
never had tequila before. She was never able to try tequila in Cuba or have a margarita. So her first margarita was with me today. And the way she reacted, the face lit up, it took me back to my first times. I had a lot of first times when I left Cuba. First time trying real ice cream, first time doing this, first time doing that. And it was so beautiful. It was just, and I got emotional because I'm like, wow, I can see myself in you. And I'm like, I want to help you experience a whole lot of first times. Like, we should go out. We should do this. We should go shopping. And now
For
I'm
sure.
like, I just want to like take her and put her in my purse and just carry her everywhere. Because it's like, because
Yeah.
it feels great. It feels great. And it's at the same time, it's heartbreaking because why? Why couldn't you enjoy something as simple as a damn margarita in your homeland? You know, that hurts
Yep.
deep, So and I was telling her today, I'm like, Cuba hurts me. Anything related to Cuba hurts me. I disassociated from anything related to Cuba for years. But last year when the people took the streets, like you, I had to vent. I had to vent and I had to say what I had to say. And, I vented, as you know, against the Black Lives Matter organization because as a Black Cuban, I did not felt represented by an organization that supposedly represents Black people. And I said what I said and it went viral. So, but I feel you. I feel you. I feel your pain. I feel your
Oh,
pain.
definitely.
You guys experience
Eh,
it, to me, you guys experience it different because exactly what you say, you are born in freedom. And knowing that your people cannot experience the stuff that you experience, it's kind of like, and sometimes it's a little bit of, like s- I have conversations you know, with Cuban descendants born here or born anywhere, but you guys don't have this and that. No, we don't. Really, no way. But you guys cannot eat such and such. No, no way. How does the libreta de abastecimiento works? So, and then when you explain, it's like, no way, nah, man, no way. They just can't get it. They can grasp some concepts, and it hurts. It
That's
hurts.
part of
But
what I want to do with my podcast. I want to bring so I've said this before. My goal is to bring me to the world, and a big part of me is my culture, right?
Mhm.
So this is a fact. Within the Spanish speaking community, it's what we go through as Cubans is common already, right? Like everybody just knows. I mean, they feel our pain and they know it's a certain type of situation. However, the English speaking world, from what I see, is very disconnected.
Yeah.
Very disconnected, right? So my goal is to somehow bring those stories of, for example, I told somebody the other day my uncle got lost at sea, and nobody's ever seen him again. He was a rafter in the 1990s. And I told someone that, like an American person who doesn't speak Spanish, who's just, they have no Spanish culture.
Yeah.
And they couldn't understand how someone would willingly jump on a raft and leave their homeland and risk their life to come here. They couldn't. They couldn't understand.
Yeah.
And I tried to explain to them that that's how bad it is. Like, someone is willing to die, and my uncle did. He died just for a chance to make it here. Not even for anything secured. Not even for assurance of anything. For a chance at making it here.
Yeah.
He died.
Yeah.
So that's something that I definitely want to do. And you're doing a great job of it, by the way, because you're a person who is from Cuba, who knows the experience of a person who's lived in Cuba, and saying what we go, what Cubans go through on the island in English is very powerful, very, very powerful.
Thank you. I have a lot of some Cubans, but you don't post no content in Spanish. I'm like, to speak to who? The same little group of people.
Yeah,
we need to expand.
To speak to
We
the
need
same
to
20
expand. We need to
Cubans
let the
that
world
have
know.
been to speak to the same 30 or 40 Cubans that have been protesting since the 60s at Versailles. I mean, that's great, but no, like, the people who need to know about this are people who speak other languages. You know what I mean?
Especially the work that I found myself doing. It's deep because it's kind of like educating the Black community, because they can relate to me through the color of my skin. Educating the Black community on all of these pro-socialism, pro-communism agendas that they've been having, because they idolize that. Some of them idolize Fidel, because they saw, wow, Fidel gave the Black Panthers asylum. Oh, wow, Fidel gave Assata Shakur asylum. Oh, and they idolize, oh, Fidel says that Blacks are equal in Cuba. But more than half of them have never been outside of the country. They've never been to Cuba. So they just, regurgitating whatever somebody told them that was the truth, which is not. And it's a lot of education. It's a lot of teaching. It's a lot of patience, and be like, look, it's not how you think. Okay, the grass is not greener on the other side. Okay, and just trying to explain to them and get through that demographic, which can be challenging sometimes. Definitely. But we doing what we got to do. We're doing what we got to do.
I don't know if you well, obviously Cuban Mike. We've become good friends. He came down to Florida, and we came. We linked up, and he's a cool guy. I did an older version of the podcast with him. I'll reinvite him one of these days. He had this guy. So I didn't know that you guys up there in New England like have an issue with these guys that are like openly talking about Cuba, like people who have never been to Cuba, or at least have been to Cuba but have been to whatever. I don't know. That guy, I don't even know his name. The guy that was on his profile talking all that garbage, who was talking to like the city council in Boston. You know who I'm talking about? That guy?
Yeah, I know. I don't know the guy, but I know
the video or whatever. Yeah.
My dog is chewing on something he shouldn't be chewing on. He's doing the most right now. Sir, that is not a toy, and you shouldn't be playing with that. And you need to stop. What? Okay.
We're good. We're good.
Let me act like, okay. Let me act like it didn't happen. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're good. So no, I was just saying. So that video that Cuban Mike posted about the guy who supposedly said he went to Cuba and this and that and the other, I thought it was funny because we saw that video down here, and all of us posted something about it. I didn't say anything vulgar or offensive, but I told that guy, listen, most Cubans are saying something very different from what you're saying. So let's have a debate. Let's talk to me. Well, listen. I'll pay for your flight to come down and to my podcast, and we'll have a live debate. Crickets, nothing, right? Y después de eso, I think you know Dave from Spanglish Generation. She posted a video which was way better than mine. She was, and because she's very educated, she's very eloquent, she's very articulate, she researches, and lo dejó como un sacapapa. Oh my God, it was art. So I think that's what I'm saying. Like in Miami, we're so used to this being the truth that we don't realize that there's other places within the United States where are just receiving the wrong information.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We went to the Boston City Council vote on lifting the embargo, right? And I tried to see how, and with us, there was a community of Cubans sitting there saying no, and they still voted yes, right in front of our faces. It was like a slap to our faces. Mind you, there was not a Cuban there representing anything. It was Cape Verdeans, Dominicans. Most of them were Black women, Cape Verdean, Dominican, but Black women. I am sitting there as a Black Cuban woman, and you're still not taking in consideration my opinion. You know? And it was just, it's tough up here. It's very pro-socialist, pro-communist, anti-imperialist, but it's like you're living from this system. This system is feeding you. So I'm not saying everything is better here. That's not what I'm saying. But when it comes to speaking on Cuba, they need to hush and they need to listen to the Cubans. They need to listen to us. Because they doing
I'll tell
a lot
you right
of...
now, they're going to stay up there for eternity, because if they come down to Florida, they're going to get chewed up.
Oh, God, there you go with the violence.
No violence. I just mean chewed up like they're going to get made fools of. They're going to get educated real quick in front of a lot of people.
It's a lot of miseducation up here. And we have to do a very strong work when it comes to educating these people. I am grateful that when it comes to my platform, a lot of, the Black women and men that follow me in my platform, they listen. They listen and they do their own research. I always invite them to do their own research. And I have people that have come to me and be like, wow, that's not the idea I had. I thought that the medicine was amazing in Cuba, and I thought everything was just so great. And now all of the sudden you come up with the truth, and it's like, whoa, And sometimes it's a little cognitive dissonance because they are used to certain narrative, and now I come and distort this whole thing. I just pop all your bubble, and now you have to like re-educate yourself and kind of like really do your own research, and that's been. But we have to continue. Sometimes it's draining, and I have to take breaks, but we have to continue. We have to continue to keep pushing and talking and exposing. Like that's yeah. We got to do it.
Well,
we got to do it.
If you haven't heard it, I'm going to tell you now. Te agredo mucho. I appreciate you. I appreciate Cuban Mike, and I appreciate all of you that are doing this up there, because I know it's very lonely. I know there's no reward in sight, and it gets very, very frustrating at times. It feels like you're taking on the world. But thank you for what you do, because it's important. It's very important.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No, we're going to continue. We're going to, just today, I was talking to that one friend, and it was three of us. And I was telling the one friend that knows me, I was telling him, I'm like, you see how having a big mouth works sometimes? He's like, it works for you. I'm like, yeah, loud, big mouth. Yes. And I'm going to keep talking and yelling and screaming, and I'm bringing attention to the Cuba situation. But yeah,
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Some people have other methods, right? They a little, like you say, more eloquent, more prepared. They have pretty words to say and stuff like that. I'm a little ratchet, but that's okay.
No, hey, listen, we're trying to get freedom for our country. We're not trying to, it's not about looking good or looking clean. Or it's none of that. It's about getting the job done. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Definitely,
So,
definitely, definitely. Yes, 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 and yes. I approve that message.
my name is Grecia, and I approve this message.
Yes, yes. My name is Grecia and I approve that message. Yep.
So, Grecia, so I know obviously you immigrated from Cuba, but so give me a little background. I know you originally immigrated when you were 19 or 20 to Guyana, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I left Cuba miraculously. 19. I went to Guyana. I lived there almost 5 years. And
Mm.
then I came here with my ex-husband because he is Guyanese but raised here. And we met when he went on vacation there, and that's how I ended up here. Coming to the US was not really my goal, to be honest with you. I was doing
Were you
very, very
living
good in
like a good
Guyana.
life in Guyana?
Yeah, I was living good, very good. And I actually wanted to go to Europe. It was not here. Um,
Mm.
I wanted to go to Europe, but life happens and you do crazy things for love. And I ended up coming here. I ended up coming here. And I've been here 11 years.
Mm.
11 years here in the US. So
Did you always live up north?
always,
Mm.
always. I only visit Miami. Always been up here. A lot of people tell me I'm crazy. You're crazy. You should be in
I mean,
Miami.
you would love it down here. You would love
I
it. You would, of
like
course.
it. I like it when I go. I don't know about loving it, but I like it.
A ti lo que no te gusta es el cubaneo. Be honest.
uh, the heat is a little overwhelming.
Really? No, no way.
Yes, I swear to
Listen,
God.
I'll take the heat over the cold any day.
I've gotten so used to these. I mean, come on, we see all the seasons, all of them. We
Mm.
can get dressed up for all the seasons. You know how cute you look with a nice coat in the winter, some nice boots. I really like it. I really like it up here. I'm not saying that it will be a forever thing. Um, because of all the opportunities and doors that had been opening, and it keeps calling me back to do work in Miami. I might go closer, but I don't know about living in Miami though. Maybe closer,
Fair enough.
somewhere in Florida.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He said I don't like the cubaneo. It's too much.
It's the
I love
truth.
my people. I love my people, but it's overwhelming for me too. It's like, oh my God, okay, here we go. You know,
Oh
they be
man.
looking at me crazy because I don't eat chicharrón and stuff. They be criticizing me. You don't eat
Well,
pork? That's not
hey.
Cuban. Oh Lord, really? Tell me, we have a Cuban Bible. Where in the Cuban Bible says it?
No, hey, you should see what they tell me when they find out I don't drink coffee. Oh my God.
Oh, they're
That's
about to sacrifice you.
que tú no tomas café. And then it's funny because I get to people's houses and they think I just like I don't want to. I feel bad for drinking their coffee, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. I don't drink coffee.
You don't drink
No,
coffee.
no, no. They're like, no, no, oye, que tómatelo, lo hice porque tú venías de visita. You know, like,
¿Qué
no, bro,
clase
I
de
don't drink
cubano
coffee.
eres tú? ¿Qué clase de cubano eres tú?
Right, right, exactly.
¿Cómo te atreves?
That's funny, man.
Man, yeah, our people are very tied to this type of to culture.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
people very, very tied to culture. And I try to. I remember now. No, I'm like now I eat fish, so I'm like people might consider a pescatarian. But when I was a vegan, completely vegan, oh gosh, that was like a sin. What the hell is that? ¿Qué es eso de veganismo? And I had to like really educate a lot of people on what it was
Mm.
and why I was doing it for my health and things like that. Um, it, it's tough. It's tough.
Let me tell you though, I get it because we're not allowed, to eat meat. The Cubans we don't have meat. So when you finally get to a country that has meat, it's like, oh my God,
Like, yeah, how dare you? Now that you can eat all the meat that you want, now you just want to eat vegetables.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So,
No, look, I'm gonna tell you a story. I wasn't gonna say the story, but it has to exactly do with this. I must have been 11 or 12, and my friend invited me to his house to go play like a video game or something. And his mom,
mhm,
no, his grandfather cooked dinner. So his grandfather cooked dinner, and must have been like 13, 14. So around that age, you start kind of getting your own opinions and forming your own.
yeah.
So the grandfather serves a steak, arroz, no, bistec con arroz y frijoles.
Hmm.
Rice, steak, and beans. And then the kid looks at his abuelo, and he's like, no, abuelo, yo soy vegetariano ahora. I'm a vegetarian now. And the grandfather, I swear, he looks at him like this. He goes, ¿tú crees que yo vine en una balsa para que tú no comieras carne aquí? You think I came on a raft here so you could not eat meat after we never ate meat in Cuba? Boy, you eat that steak or I'm going to shove it in your mouth.
Oh Lord.
Bro, we
Yes.
both shut up, stared at our plates, and we're like,
Listen, and that's the thing. That's the thing. And I'm pretty sure people from other culture have those type of things too.
probably.
But when
Yeah.
it comes to Cuba, we are very tied to traditions, and we do things this way, and we should all do it this way. And I'm very free thinking. Like I'm a free thinker, and I like to question things, the whys and the hows, and I just like living under my own rules.
Mm,
And it's a problem. It's a problem in my own community sometimes, because how dare you not to fit the mold, right?
yeah. Mm,
And it's like, I don't need to. I walk into places, and if I don't say, I'm Cuban, because people will know,
right.
because I don't dress like it. Because like I'm just don't want to be another one. I don't want to be this. This is what we do, and at the same time I'm open to do everything Cubans do, every single thing,
Right.
right?
Of course.
But I know that there is more out there. Also, one thing that I've noticed, which I'm pretty sure is not just the Cuban community, I'm pretty sure all communities suffer from this, is a lot of judgment of others and other communities, right?
Mm,
So I'm like, I cannot judge something that I don't know about. I'm going to sit with somebody, I'm going to sit with a Muslim, and I'm going to ask a Muslim questions, and I will see, why do you operate a certain way before I make a
mm,
judgment. You know, a lot of people, even with this situation of me speaking English and bringing attention to the situation in Cuba in English, a lot of the people, or a lot of my own people, oh, but like I said in the beginning, you should be speaking in Spanish and telling them in Spanish. And my thing is, I did not come to this country the same. I hate them with the same thing that they hate me. I did not come to this country not to learn English.
mm,
I did not come to this country to stay stuck speaking Spanish my whole life.
mm,
That's not why I came here. I came here because I wanted to elevate, and I wanted to learn, and I wanted opportunities, right? And I've had the blessing to learn this amazing, beautiful language, and now I'm going to use it,
mm.
right?
110%.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
I can relate. Me it's 50-50. It's I want to translate everything into English so a whole other demographic gets it. And at the same time it's part of so I have that conflicting message as well. I get it. I'm actually in the near future I'm going to start the podcast in Spanish as well. It's
Hmm.
just a lot to do all at once. So I'm
Yeah.
going to get this going first, and then, I'll do that later, you know.
Yeah.
So I definitely get you. And you're right about our culture. We're very traditional. We're a
Yes.
culture that's very stuck in traditions, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, if someone chooses to do something different, it shouldn't be a big deal. It shouldn't be,
Yeah.
because it is what it is. If someone chooses to walk their own path, that's completely okay.
Yeah.
I'm a person that I'm more of a hybrid. There's certain things I like to be traditional about because I was raised by a lot of older people. I was raised by my grandparents and my great grandmother, and all my great and grand aunts and grand uncles. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate because on both sides of my family, I got to know all my grandparents' siblings, and to
That's
them, they're just
awesome.
my aunts and uncles. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm very traditional. I'm way more traditional than a person my age because of that. Because I was raised by more traditional Cubans
Elders.
who
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, imagine most of them were born in the 40s. My great grandmother was born in the 20s. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a different way of living, different lifestyle, different mindset, different tradition was everything to them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
tradition is
I mean, I
good for a lot of
respect.
things.
I'm sorry.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you. I respect. Um, that's what I'm saying. I'm open to embrace and respect. The gatekeeping, like I call it, the gatekeeping of culture because reality is we lost a lot. We lost a lot of our culture, our like
Our
traditional
identity.
things that we used to do. We lost it. I
Mm,
remember having conversations with my grandfather, God rest his soul, having conversations with my grandfather about real Christmas in Cuba before Fidel, like real
mm,
Christmas. And it's like, oh, we used to go down to La Habana, and there were all the stores, and then we would get like brand new curtains for the house. Every Christmas we will change all the curtains, and we will paint the house, and we will
mm.
have this and that, and we will eat the jamon serrano and tarara.
Yeah.
And they will have, like, there was culture and real tradition in Cuba. All of that has been lost. You know,
Mm.
people in Cuba don't even know why we celebrate certain things or what is the right way of celebrating certain things. I see
Right.
people, going to weddings on jeans and sneakers, and it's like we
Yeah.
we even lost the culture of dressing well. My
Mm,
grandfather was always a very well dressed man, you know, from the times of Benny Moré. They used to confuse him with Benny Moré because they resemble each other. And suit and suspenders and
suit and
ties and
tie.
hats,
Yeah.
and you when you see a lady, you take your hat off, and we're talking about things that are lost right now. People don't
Mm,
even know how to dress anymore. We lost that. We lost a lot of dignity, of having dignity
mm,
on ourself and our self appearance and things like that. So that's why I believe that our work is also so important. I know when I walk into a building, I'm not just representing me, I'm representing a nation, because
mm,
most likely I'll be, especially up here, I'll be the only Cuban in that building. So
mm,
I need to know how I behave. You
mm,
know, there is a lot of misconceptions when it comes to Cuban women too. So I have to clean that up. It's my responsibility to clean that up now. So it's a lot. It's big. It's big. It's a lot. So
I'm there
yeah.
with you. My grandfather, he to this day he tells me the stories of back in the day. He was about 18 years old when the revolution happened, so he lived a good part of his life, pre-Fidel. So he tells me the stories of how my great grandfather went to Sears and he bought the first color television that came out. And I was like, wait, Sears? There was a Sears in Cuba? He's like,
Yes.
bro, there was everything in Cuba.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, man.
McDonald's. They had McDonald's and everything. Because my
They
abuelo
had
tells me.
Yeah, yeah. They had what you call it. I remember him telling me the story about that like they used to have American cars there before the cars would even come out in the United States. The cars would be in Cuba already. He used to tell
Mm-hmm.
me. I remember him telling me a story about that. At some point in the 50s, I think Cuba was like ranked number like the most prosperous nation in Latin America. It, it's
Yes.
it's it's crazy stuff. Like it went from one extreme all the way to the other. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Bringing it back to this friend that I was telling you about, that I met with her today, that she just came from Cuba. And it's like I even told her, I'm like, you're gonna have to learn even to cook, because what you call cooking in Cuba is not cooking. So
mm,
here you're gonna have to learn about real spices, things that you don't even know that you could use to cook and season and flavor food. And I said to her, one thing I said to her is, which I don't think it happens as much when you stay in Miami. I said to her, try it all. Try it all. Try everybody's food. Hindu food, Ethiopian food, African food. Try everything. Open up yourself. Don't say no
Mm,
to anything. Just try it all. You know? I'm like, you've come too far to stay stuck with the same stuff.
mm,
Explore, 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 explore. Open up. Try all the cultures. Sit with other people from all the cultures. Learn from
mm.
them. See why they do certain things and just try it all. I believe that me being um, in Guyana, you have Hindu culture, you have Muslim culture, you have the Christians, you have the
Interesting.
Aboriginals. They call Amerindios, that they have
Mm,
their own little culture too. You have a lot of Chinese immigrants there too. So you get exposure to all of that. You get exposure to all of that. I think a lot of the times we Cubans, we are so afraid of the unknown that we stay stuck, in our
mm.
own little things. Um,
True.
and it's like, come on, like we could try something new. We can try something new. Everything don't need to be chicharrón.
Right.
so,
I feel you.
so
There's I don't quote him much. I mean, I respect him for his accomplishments, obviously, because he's done a lot in his life. I don't quote him much just because politically I'm not with it. However, he's a very accomplished person. Jay-Z said in one of his songs, how's it go? Oh my God, you've changed. And he says, you think I've come this far to stay the same?
mm,
And it's like, yeah, he's on point. I've come
yeah,
really far in my life. You know what I mean? How do you expect me to come this far and do this much and accomplish this many things and grow this much as a person to expect me to be exactly the same as I was 10 or 15 or however many years
yeah,
ago? It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, yeah,
Of course I've changed. You're exactly the same. And that's not a good thing. If you're exactly the same as you were 5, 10, 15 years ago, there's an issue. You're not growing as a
yeah.
person. You need to
A
be
lot of people
growing
get
and
caught up in the
evolving.
comfort zone.
Oof.
You know, they get very comfortable. Okay, and I believe if you want to be successful, you wanna do different, you wanna be different, you wanna experience different. You need to expose yourself, even if it's a little scary. Expose
Mm,
yourself to that. I was telling my girls, my followers and stuff, but they're like, "Oh, I want to date a successful man. I want to make sure that I date a successful man." And I'm like, "Okay, if you want to date a successful man, you want to meet a successful man, are you going to the places where successful men go?
mm,
Because you cannot wish on a star and stay home. It's
mm.
not happening. Unless you're trying to date the Amazon Prime delivery guy, then stay home. Fine. But if it's like, in Spanish we say ponte donde capitán te vea. Okay, you gotta
Yeah.
go and expose yourself. So where they go? Country clubs? Okay, get a country club membership and go to the country club. Where they go?
Mm,
Upscale restaurants? Go and sit, even if it's at the bar and have one drink. You know? Dress the part. You're not gonna find a successful man with the hood nails with the, like, come on, dress the part, act the part, and just we gotta learn to code switch. That's the word.
mm,
We have to learn to code switch. But sometimes when we code switch, people, they accuse us of te desteñiste, como te desteñes, especially in our culture, right? So and it's like, no, yo no me desteñí. I'm code switching. Okay? When it's time to get
mm,
down and dirty and dance salsa and con chancleta conga, con chancleta palo, I'm right there, number one. But, but when it's time to sit at a table with business people and have business conversations and stuff like that, I have to be able to do that too.
mm.
So,
You got to be
you
a
know,
chameleon.
it's necessary,
You blend into
unfortunately.
the environment. Yeah. No, it's super necessary for sure. You got to measure. You have to be able to measure the temperature in the room, and
Hmm.
instead of being, you can't be a thermostat and expect the room, the temperature of the room to match you. You have to be more like ice. Ice melts or it freezes depending on the temperature. You got to be
Hmm.
like water. Like Bruce Lee says.
Yes, 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 yes. I like that. I always tell people that stay fluid.
Mm,
Stay fluid like water. Stay vibrate, like, move. Sometimes, we're very this is how I am, and I'm proud to be like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes when you want to get some stuff, you're gonna have to be able to code switch, and
Mm.
until so you get what you want, and then you continue being proud. There's
One of
nothing
my
wrong
favorite
with it.
authors. Yeah, no, for sure. One of my favorite authors is Robert Greene. He's written a few books you might have heard of: 48 Laws of Power, 32 Strategies of War,
Yep.
The Art of Seduction. He's a
I read The
genius,
Art of
hands down.
Seduction. Yeah.
The day I meet that man, I don't even. I'm not even gonna know what to say. I'll meet him one day, as a fellow author. I'll get up there one day, and when I'm a New York Times bestseller. Anyway,
That
so
call it like it already happened.
of course.
Now that I'm a
So,
New York Times bestseller, I'll set up
oh
a
yeah,
meeting with Robert Greene. Oh, that sounded great. Amazing. Yes. Speaking it into existence.
he'll be a guest on the podcast one day. Yep, you got it. So he has a book. The first book he wrote is called The 48 Laws of Power, and one of the laws of power is be formless.
Mm,
Powerful
mm,
stuff. Oof.
very
And
powerful
he
stuff.
and he tells the story of, so each law in that book, all his books are written in a similar fashion where he gives you all the laws that have to do with that subject: seduction, war, power, whatever it is,
Hmm.
laws of human nature. And then he gives you the law, and then he basically tells you a story of a powerful person who succeeded because he followed the law, and a successful person who failed because they did not follow the law. So
Mm,
it's very powerful. Read the book; you would
powerful
love it. It's a
stuff.
very good
Wow.
book. Yeah,
We've been talking about tradition and stuff like that. And now that you mentioned being formless, when you are formless, you're really not holding on to anything. So, you're really not holding on to anything. You're
Mm.
not being determined by anything either. It will be easier for you to, like you were saying, to adapt to the temperature of the room.
Exactly. Right. Be formless
Yeah.
like water. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
A lot of people too stuck.
seriously.
A lot of people way too stuck in their ways. It's like, no, this is what I do, how I do things. Okay. Good luck with that. How good has it worked?
Mm.
How much
It's
progress have you made?
seriously. Albert Einstein has a quote. He says, "Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and again, expecting different results."
Yep. 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 And yeah, man, it's a lot of insane people out here, okay?
A lot of insanity
It's a
for
lot
sure.
of insane people out here. And I'm like, oh, okay. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. I had to learn the act of really minding my business.
For sure. No,
you
I'm there
know,
with you for sure. So,
Sometimes when they want
Grecia,
to sleep, you pass them the pillow. If they want to sleep, pass them the pillow on the blanket. That's it. You
let them
know,
sleep on you. It's all good.
that's it.
All that does, when people sleep on you, all that does is give you a head start. While they're sleeping, you're working.
That's fine. And it's like, oh, okay, fine. I love being the underdog.
Mm,
It's like, then it's like, I'm gonna bite you on the end at the end, and you will see. But I mean, we gotta continue. Our fight,
definitely.
speaking, creating space. I want to thank you for creating this space, because you're not just creating this space for you. You're allowing people like me, like you and Mike and any other of your guests to come on your platform and just be ourselves, judgment free. That's big. That's huge. We don't need to code switch with you.
Not at all. And
We
you'll
don't
always
need
be
to code
welcome.
switch with you. That's huge.
100%. You
That's
you
huge.
you
And
guys have a
thank
home
you.
here whenever you want. So, Grecia, I wanted to touch up on two or three more things and then we're done. So,
Okay.
I honestly don't even know what you. So, do you own a botanica? Like, what do you do for a living, bro? I don't.
So I
You,
do not. Wait. Let me see it. Let me say it. Well, my botanica is in the making.
okay,
um.
okay.
So the thing is, I moved so much. I moved so much. I'm all over the place. That having a physical location, I will have to have trustworthy people to run a physical location.
Mm,
So I do most of my business online. As you know, I'm big on spiritual. the spiritual kumbaya stuff, and that's what pays my bills. That's literally my main source of income. But I also created the Witches and Wine event. That event I created it because I wanted to see the faces of my followers, who's behind the phone. That's what started that.
Mm.
And it had become into literally a movement because it had given spiritual people a space to just be free, judgment free, and to come together and to have a good time. What a lot of
Mm.
people miss when they leave church and they come into spirituality or ATR traditions is the fellowship. Because in church, every Sunday, you have fellowship. So you don't feel so alone, and the spiritual
Right.
community doesn't really have that. So creating these events where people can come together and create connections and stuff like that has been very successful. And let me know on wood, I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful because I've been able to be the bridge for a lot of people to come together, and the events keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like every time it's more people coming to the events and more people telling other people and stuff like that.
Mm.
So that's what I
Fantastic.
do. I had the opportunity, thanks to my loud big mouth, I had the opportunity to participate in a the movie Plantadas by Lilo Villaplana. Um, so a movie dedicated to the female political prisoners in Cuba after Castro took power. And it was just such an honor just to be there. I didn't have a main role. I had a supporting role, but I loved the experience. It was just beautiful. And to have the real plantadas there with us, and some of the plantados, just seeing how we the movie was being, the shooting and stuff like that, that was powerful. That was big. That was the last time I went to Miami that I was not able to see you because I was busy.
I
And
remember.
I will go
And
into the studio at 8 a.m. and I sometimes get out of there at midnight
well,
all day. And you cannot really be on your phone. So it's like it was work, 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 like
mm.
a lot of work. But so
That's a
honored,
legacy.
so honored.
That's a legacy.
It
You're
is.
leaving
And
a
I'm
big
calling in
legacy.
more opportunities like that.
Good. Follow him.
I'm calling in
Plantados
way
was an
more.
amazing movie. If Plantadas is half of the movie that Plantados was, it's gonna make a huge impact. Huge
Plantados
impact.
had
Big
me
one,
in tears.
bro.
In tears.
You know what's crazy? A guy like Bonco Quiñongo, who's a comedian, to go in that movie and play the role that he played, I was astonished. I didn't believe it was him. Like, I saw him in that movie and I was like,
I know. I
wow.
know. He did a great job.
Wow.
I'm hoping to meet him on the premiere. I
Wow.
didn't have the
Fantastic.
honor to see him. I saw other. Wow, it's just Lilo Villaplana has this Midas touch. I don't know. He can bring
Mm,
people together, and he just have this beautiful energy to him. That's why the people around him always have very good energy as well.
mm.
So let's see. I have to go to Miami for the premiere, so that's another trip that I have to do to Miami. So hopefully I
Well,
can see you this time around.
hopefully. Hopefully.
So that's what I do for a living. I'm a tarot card hustler. So,
You're a gypsy. Era una gitana. No, no. I'm
La
kidding.
gitana, muchacho. Yep,
So,
exactly.
so Grecia, I always like to wrap up my podcast the same way with all my guests. I just asked 3 questions. So,
Okay.
first question, what inspires you?
Wow, so many things. Actually, my experiences in Cuba, because I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to that person. So that is kind of like when I see myself slipping back up, I'm like, ooh, ooh, hey, we are not going back there. We are not going back there. We've come too far. So it keeps me going. It really it pushed me. Yep. That's
That's
what,
deep, man.
yeah, I will say that. Yeah. My lived
So,
experiences inspire me,
wow.
to keep going, to keep going.
What's your dream?
Wow, I have a lot of dreams to leave a legacy. I'm gonna keep it like that. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. To leave a legacy, solid legacy for my kids. Yep. I'm gonna
What's
keep it
next for
there
you?
because what's next? Whoo, baby, there is no limit. um, write my first book, which
Your
I
friend is
also
an author. You have a good friend that's an author. I think he can help you with that.
I know I need to pick your brain. I need to pick your brain on that.
Whenever you
So,
want. Whenever you want.
write my first book, make my first million.
Oh, that one. Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, I actually want to write the book, and I was telling Lilo, and I know I spoke it into existence. It's happening. I can see it. I was talking to Lilo when my last day of shooting, and I'm like, thank you so much for the opportunity and stuff like that. And I'm like, you're gonna direct my movie. I just looked at him, and he's like, you're gonna direct my movie. He's like, your movie? What's the movie gonna be about? I'm like, it's gonna be about a jinetera in Cuba, and we're gonna tell the whole story.
Wow.
He
Wow,
was
that's
like,
gonna be powerful.
come on, let's do it. I'm like, let me write the book first.
Speaking of movies, this is how we'll end it. I'm actually in the process of writing a comic book. I don't know if I ever told you. And the characters are the
mention that,
orichas.
yes.
Yeah. The characters are the orichas. I'm gonna turn it into a TV show, and I want you in the TV show. So I'll stay in contact with you for sure.
So like a voiceover? I can do voiceover?
No. It's gonna be a live action TV show.
Oh, wow. Okay, yes. I'm in. I want in. I think
I
that
have
would
a
be
great
nice.
character that you're perfect for, so I'll tell you about her one of these days. We'll hop on a
I
call
think
and
it
I'll
would
tell
be
you all about
great.
it.
Kids need that dose of culture too, and learn,
For sure.
the same
For
way
sure.
they've been indoctrinated, especially Cuban kids, indoctrinated to do anything and everything else, something like this, I think it would be so, it's necessary, not just for Cuban kids.
For sure.
Everybody now is getting back to their roots, it's like a great awakening spiritually, and people
For sure.
need this type of stuff,
For sure.
So, thank you.
Grecia,
Thank
it was
you.
a pleasure having
I'm
you here.
finished it.
I love you so much. I appreciate you coming. How can people connect with you?
Okay, so I'm on Instagram. I'm trying to revive my Facebook again, but it's been years. But I'm on Instagram as Maraja Spiritual Luxury. That's the best way to contact me. IG. I live there.
Perfect. Perfect.
So, yeah. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Of course. You're welcome back anytime. So that was it, guys.
Don't
Another
tell me that
episode of
'cause
the
I move
Montana.
in.
Bueno,
And now you-
I already told you you should come to Miami. Whether you come or not, that's up to you. Alrighty,
Thank
guys. So
you.
that was another episode of the Montana Method Podcast. Here with my guest, Grecia. Nelson Rodriguez Jr. signing out. Push it to the limit. The world is yours. If you're not chasing a dream, life is meaningless, guys. Till the next one.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. I promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.